we see a girl named Lynn. She is a top student in high school and has lived with her father the whole time. One day, her father puts her in a new, expensive school, but she doesn't want to go because the enrollment fee and other costs will cost a lot. Because Lynn is so smart, she is useful to the school. The principal gives her a scholarship so she can study there and take pictures for her ID. She meets Grace, who has a good heart but struggles in school. Since then, they've become good friends. She is not as smart as Lynn, but she is good at other things, like acting in her school's extracurricular activity. She tells Lynn in the library that the school has made a new rule about how to get a good grade. The average must be somewhere around 3.2. So, Grace tells her that she will most likely fail. She asks Lynn to help her on the test because she knows Lynn is smart. On the day of the test, Lynn finds out that the questions are the same as the ones the teacher gave out early. She also looks at Grace during the private tutoring sessions and realizes that she can't answer the questions right. She decides to help her by writing the right answers on an eraser, which she then gives to Grace. The teacher almost catches them, but Lynn solves the problem in the end. Grace gets a GPA of 3.87, while Lynn gets a GPA of 4.0. Grace invites her to the pool party so they can celebrate their good grades together. There, Lynn meets Pat, who is dating Grace. Pat has a lot more money than she does. Grace tells him that Lynn helped his girlfriend do well on the test. Because of this, he offers her a lot of money to help him and his friends cheat on another girl. Lynn is hesitant at first, but she decides to take the job when she finds out that the school took extra money from her father, who works as it and makes a modest living. Soon, she comes up with a set of hand signals based on which piano keys Lynn is pressing. Each pressing pattern will be the letter A, B, C, or D. The others only need to remember the pattern, while Lynn uses them to send answers during exams. So, her base of clients will benefit in the long run from the money she has made. She buys a new shirt for her dad. She hides everything from her father by telling him she is just taking piano lessons. Lynn has always had a rival in the school who is also smart. Because he comes from a poor family, the school also gives him a scholarship. He is not the same as Lynn in one way. He is very honest, and he doesn't like it when people cheat on tests. Later, he is put in a competition with Lynn, and the two of them are able to win. After that, the principal calls them and tells them that they can apply for a scholarship abroad. But since there is only one slot, they are now competitors. Bank finds out when he gets home that his mother owns a laundromat. Then he finds out that his mother has to wash the clothes by hand because the washing machine broke. He offers to help his mom with the laundry. The next day, another student named Tong comes up to him. He tells Bank that he didn't go to school yesterday because he was sick. He then offers Bank some money to help him do better on the test. But Bank refuses. During the test, Bank sees Tong looking at Lynn's paper by accident. Then, he decides to tell her how Tong has been acting. On the other hand, Lynn already knows it because Tong is one of the people who applied to buy her piano. Afterwards, Bank also warns the teacher as he hands in his answers in front of the class, but the teacher doesn't care because the test is split into sets A and B to prevent cheating. Lynn finishes her exam first, which is set A while the teacher isn't looking at her. She uses hand signals to send answers to her friends. She takes the chance to trade her paper, which is set B, with Tong. As time is running out, she quickly answers all of set B's questions. Surprisingly, she has enough time to tell her other friends what the answers are. When it was over, she gets caught when the bank tells the teacher that she was cheating before. So, her dad is also asked to come to the school. As a punishment, the teacher tells her father what she has done wrong in the past. Her scholarship is taken away by the school. In addition, she tells the principal that it wasn't a full scholarship anyway because they had to pay for other things. I'm upset by what she said. The principal also automatically takes away her chance to apply for an international college scholarship. Bank is the only one who can now apply for the international scholarship, which he regrets because it takes away Lynn's chance when she gets back home. Her father is so upset with her that he doesn't want to put on his new clothes anymore. He also tells her to give the money back to the people she gave it to during her last year of school. Grace gives her another invitation to cheat. This time, it's not just any test, but the STSC, an international standardized test for college admissions. Grace also tells her that Pat's parents want her and Pat to go to Boston University. So, if they pass the STIC test, it will show that they can study there. Lynn says no at first because it's a hard test, but she changes her mind when she realizes they can use the different time zones to their advantage. The next morning, they come up with a great idea. Lynn can take the test 4 hours early in Australia, where the test is given. Then she can send the answers back to Thailand and sell them to other students who want to take the test. She also tells them that most of the answers are easy for her to remember. Still, she needs help for the rest of the time. Because of this, she needs someone smart enough to remember the answers, which is Bank in this case. Also, she already knows that Bank won't accept the invitation because he hates cheating and it's the night before his scholarship exam. He is attacked by thugs in the street. and the next morning, he is thrown in a garbage dump. This keeps him from taking his exam. Lynn goes to Bank's house and gives him an offer because she knows about this. At first, he says no to her offer, but then he gives him because he really needs money that night. They are getting ready for the last operation. Lynn and Bank will both fly to Australia to start studying for their exams there. During breaks, they go to the bathroom and hide their cell phones so they can call Grace and Pat with the answers. Pat and Grace will write the answers on pencils with barcodes and print them out in Thailand. The pencils will then be given to their customers, who are STIC test part in this case. Still, on the night before they leave, Pat lets slip that he was the one who told the thugs to beat up Bank to get him to join their plan. Feeling enraged, Bank attacks Pat right away. Then, Pat tries to say he's sorry, but Bank decides to leave in rage. Lynn is also shocked by the news, so she starts to think about what she did and goes after her. But he comes back to talk to Lynn and tells her to finish what she began. So, they keep doing what they're doing. Later, they finally get to Sydney, where they take the first parts of the test. They both finish their tests before the break, which gives them more time to remember the answers. But during the break, Banks tells Pat and Grace that he will send their answers for them if they raise their hands. Pat is at first hesitant, but Grace gets him to do what he wants. Then, he gives her half of the money and says he'll give her the rest when the bank sends it. Return to the Linen Bank. They finish the second part of their work well, but there are problems during their second break. The checking officer has caught a banker who spent too much of his break time in the bathroom. Lynn, on the other hand, sends her answers late because there is a line in the women's bathroom. So, the officer catches Bank in the act, but Lynn is able to get away by carrying her phone and hiding it on her boots. She finally puts it in a water dispenser. She then moves on to her last section without the bank. And because time is running out, she has to remember all the answers by herself. She uses a pencil to make herself throw up. And then she tells the officer that she did. She leaves early because she knows all of the answers by heart. While Bank is being chased, the officer who caught her also tries to catch up with her to see if they're linked. She is using her cell phone to send the answers. She also almost doesn't send the last set of answers because someone bumps into her, but luckily she does. During the interrogation, the officer finally catches her when she asks to come with him to be questioned. Bank tells her to go away by saying he doesn't know her. Going back to Thailand, Lynn is happy to see Pat and Grace, and they tell her that their plan was a big success. However, she turns on them and refuses her share of the money because of what happened in Sydney. Pat, Grace, and the other participants who passed the STIC test still have a party. They also tell Lynn that the bank has already taken its share, but she leaves the group after hearing this. Bank asks her to come over to his place sometime later. It looks like he put his money into making his mother's laundry business look better. After that, the bank told her to come up with another plan. He also tells her that it will be much safer this time because there will be more people involved. When she says no, Bank says he will tell everyone that she was another mastermind behind the last team and ruin her life. Lynn tells him again that she has made up her mind and will be there. He comforts her and helps her make up for what she did by sending a formal confession to the STIC group.